of course, I am joined by, and I'd like them to just introduce themselves. A very warm welcome to the program this hour.
Thank you.
Maybe just introduce yourselves first. I can start with you.
Okay, my name is Tony Mutuku.
All right.
I'm the Chief Executive Director of Green Energy East Africa Limited.
I'm Caroline Kinubia. I'm the PR consultant and head of digital marketing for Endless.
Endless.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm the business development lead for Endless Solutions. We're a San Francisco-based company, and I'm based here in Nairobi.
All right. Maybe as we begin off, maybe just tell us exactly what Endless Solution does and what applications and maybe softwares that you're developing in the country and why in Kenya specifically. Maybe just beginning with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Endless, as I mentioned, is a San Francisco company. We're about 6 years old. And we really wanted to tackle this problem where we saw that 3 billion people in the world still don't have computers. And the main barriers to that we see are cost and connectivity, right? Like people can't afford computers. And even if they have a computer, you put it in a location where digital access isn't very common, where internet access isn't very accessible, and you really just have a machine that can't do much, right? And so in the first thing that we did was we looked at connectivity. We said, how do we take the most affordable hardware and how do we create the best user experience possible from that hardware? So whereas you have something like Microsoft, which is trying to design for users like you and I and say, what's the most expensive hardware, what's the high processing power solutions that we can do, we said, let's design for another type of user. Then we started looking at connectivity, and we said, okay, you have a computer. If it doesn't have internet, it really can't do much. Maybe you have basic word processing, maybe you have Excel, that's it. But what if you could have a computer that is still a productive and educational tool offline? So we actually designed our own operating system. Our core value add is a software, and it has over 150 applications preloaded onto it. Everything from gaming to video editing to photo editing. We have all of the Word kind of spreadsheet presentation functionality on there. So even if a user loses, they lose, let's say, internet access, they still have this full suite of tools. On these that I'm kind of showing right now, there's over 50,000 Wikipedia articles downloaded, for example. There's Khan Academy
What's
videos.
the difference? What exactly is the difference? Okay, just maybe just give me a highlight of the difference between all these hardwares here.
Right. So these are actually all different models that we offer. The one that we're specifically pushing in Africa is this one. It's the Endless Enterprise Unit. And the software on there is all the same. It's our Endless operating software. But this one is unique because you can actually mount this on the back of a television. You can use the TV as a monitor. We're seeing a lot of off-grid customers now interested in solar TVs, right? And you can use it as a two-in-one solution where your TV suddenly functions as a computer as well. And that's this huge value add, I think, to customers who are looking to move up the product ladder. You've got energy, maybe you've got a TV now. The intuitive next step is a computer. These two units are also offered by Endless. So really it's just a difference more in memory storage. This one is, for example, 32 GB storage. These ones a little bit more. But this one is the one that we're really focused on right now.
All right. What has been the challenges in the Kenyan market when it comes to this particular technology?
Okay, as far as the Kenyan market and Africa in general, we understand that there are some challenges that are facing the ICT sector. The biggest challenge that has been facing the ICT penetration in this region has been the lack of electricity connectivity in most of the regions. The other one is the conventional computers that we have in the market, they are a bit expensive for the common mwananchi. You'll understand, or you agree with me that the GDP for Kenya and Africa in general is around $1,600 US. And the affordability of the computers, you'll find that the cheapest computer, second-hand, it's around $150 US. So it doesn't make sense for people to acquire these computers. And that's the reasons for now our partnership with Rockwell Green Energy East Africa Limited with Endless Solutions. We came together as a company while we're offering energy connectivity through solar systems and all that. We found that it's also good that we add value to our products or our services, and then we join hands with Endless Computers from San Francisco so that we can be able to reach those people that have not yet been connected to ICT. Yeah.
All right, and maybe Caroline, just tell us, how has the market been able to receive this particular technology here in Kenya?
Okay, we first showcased it in an event for the launching, and we've received a lot of positive feedback from some of our clients. We've had some orders from schools like Mudurwa Girls and Mangu High School, which under this will be done under their local member of parliament, which might be funded by the CDF kitty. So kids are receiving it well. Kids can also use it. They have installed games, also good enough for adults, not just kids. It has word processing units where you can do all your documentation, all your word presentation, all kinds of things. So yeah, it has been received well in the market. We're hoping to incorporate it mostly in the education sector, because it may be helpful, because we've seen that there's a need for so many people want to be digital literate, and some of them don't have the capability to do so, or maybe access to computers or internet or electricity. So those are some of the major issues, but we are hoping together we can come up with a common solution that will be beneficial to everyone.
All right. Ruby, I understand that you are able to use these applications with little or no internet. Tell us exactly how that works.
Yeah, so I'll first off go off and say that these are still fully internet compatible, right? So if you've got Wi-Fi, if you've got Ethernet, you're still going to be able to access the internet exactly as you would on any other computer. But let's say your internet goes, then you have 150 applications that are kind of set up in almost like a mobile phone, smartphone looking user face, because we found research-wise, people are very intuitively able to learn how to use a smartphone, right? You give it to them 30 seconds later, they've kind of figured out how to play with it. Not so with desktop. Well, we actually designed a user interface on our operating system where the applications are kind of packaged like a smartphone. So I could see my app for internet, I could see my app for my games, I can see my app for whatever it may be, and then really easily access those. And because they're preloaded, that means I have, all of this stuff that I could still do with my computer until it connects to internet again. And I'm also going to say that it's not really just an OS with preloaded content, right? Some people are like, well, can't you just preload that onto a Microsoft computer? We've actually done a lot of engineering work in the back end to optimize for this kind of hardware. So if you take the 100 plus GB of offline content on one of our computers and try to put it on a Microsoft computer, it's going to take that 100 GB, right? But we've kind of condensed it down to 40 GB and under. So a lot of engineering, a lot of thought into how to actually optimize for an offline experience.
Ah, that's quite interesting. Now, Tony, you are the Chief Executive Director of Rockwell Green Energy.
Sure.
Now, definitely this will be very beneficial for your company when it comes to green energy.
True.
How have you been able to utilize it to ensure that you're able to you're incorporating this particular technology into improving use of green energy in the country?
Okay, our vision as a company is to be able to provide electricity by offering solar systems, as I've said, to those marginalized areas, also those institutions that are not yet connected to the electricity. Now, through our partnership with Endless Computers, we want to make sure that we want to ride on whatever is happening here in Kenya currently. Like, for example, we understand the government is running the digitalization program whereby they are distributing laptops to early school children. So now we felt that as much as the government is doing that, they are also facing a challenge of internet connectivity. With Endless Computers, most of the applications, the basic applications that are needed for education sector, they don't need internet connectivity. Like we have Wikipedia, Encyclopedia, and even we also have the virtual school, which is pre-installed in the computers. So they don't need necessarily internet to run those applications, unlike the other computers whereby you must be connected to the internet. So now, ours as a company, we are just offering value addition to whatever we have been doing or whatever we are doing as a company, while we are offering electricity or energy connectivity by offering solar systems. We're also telling our clients or our customers, institutions, the commercial sector or to the corporate sector, we're also telling them that we have these computers that you can use in your home, work, or even at school without necessarily wanting to or necessarily needing to use internet. So we want to incorporate Endless Computers in our company, so that we can offer green energy, both renewable energy and technology.
All right.
Because we understand that the two things, that is energy and technology, they are driving force for economies.
Economy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, definitely. And just talking about economy, of course, now, Caroline, being a peer consultant and the head of the digital marketing for Endless Solution, maybe just tell us the prospects of this idea getting even bigger in the country, and of course, just being incorporated by other companies as well, and not just the one particular company. What are the strategies to ensure that different other companies also take in this particular idea and improve their companies, and of course even the different sectors in the government, which include, which you've said, education, which is quite important?
Yeah, so we are planning to hold things like conferences to teach people more about Endless, to let them know what it can do, the advantages that come with it, how easy it is and affordable to also get the computers, even for large organizations, maybe with a lot of employees who may need, each of them may need their own individual computers. So we are hoping to establish conferences to teach people, to also train people on how to use Endless. We're also planning to venture through social media. We've been doing a lot of social media and we've gotten positive feedback. People are so interested, especially because of even the design. It's so unique. So people are really interested to know, what is this really a computer? So yeah, we are planning to go through social medias. We are also calling on, we're also using business communities which deal with computers. We are getting to teach them about Endless and why they should also adopt them. Also because it's convenient for homework, schools, and also for personal use, just like the
So where can we
ones.
get this product?
Just to add on whatever Carol was trying to say, that we are pursuing two channels, B2B and B2C.
All right.
For B2B, like she has said, we are working with the current computer dealers here in Kenya. We have already started talking to them, and let me say that the reception is awesome. They have really responded to it, and we have some orders that we are processing with Druby. For B2C channels, we are working with basically with the online shopping platforms. Jumia, we are signing a contract with them to start showcasing our products in their platform, and as well as Kilimall.
All right.
So at the moment, the only place that you can get these, or the place that you can get these systems is in our offices. That is at Golfview Suits, Muthaiga.
All right.
That's
and
where
what
our
exactly are the prices? You know, somebody who's watching there, and they're probably interested in trying to get this particular innovation here. They would like to say, you know, let me understand the pricing here. Maybe just give us an estimate.
Okay. We have the current prices which are in the market for the other computers. What we can assure our customers is that Endless computers are relatively cheaper than whatever is in the market, based on the specifications that we have. Like for example, for the Endless one, the concave one,
and it's quite an interesting shape.
yeah, sure.
Yes, we get lots of interesting responses to this.
Yeah, like for this one, these are full CPU to our customers. This is just as the CPU that we're using in your...
It's quite small.
Yeah. It is. This one is 500 GB
All right.
of hard disk. Then it has a random access memory of around 2 GB. It has an internal speaker. It can be connected to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and all that. So this one we are pushing in the market at a price of around 29,500 shillings.
All right.
Yeah. So if you compare it with whatever is in the market at the moment, you'll find that it's relatively cheaper. Besides having those applications that you can access without internet. Yeah. So if you have, like for example, for those individuals who have children in their homes, with this one you can be able to connect it to your TV.
And you said it already has inbuilt applications inside it as well.
Yeah, those applications are already inbuilt, so you can be able to connect it with your TV. And then your children can have all the freedom to watch or to teach
just
themselves
enjoy,
or ICT skills.
And as a team, we're continuously working on improvements on this so that we can push the price point down, right? Because at the end of the day, our target market is not necessarily this high-powered user who is maybe already used to a Microsoft computer, but it's really those 3 billion people in off-grid emerging markets who don't have any other option, right? There's nothing else that's affordable. So we're pushing the price down. We're working on getting power consumption down to really maximize for solar home systems. It's a continuous process, and we're really excited to design a product specifically for Africa and specifically for emerging markets.
All right, interesting. And now you say that this was probably an alternative to what everybody else is using, which is definitely Microsoft.
Right.
So definitely, maybe just give us an idea, something, what is unique in this particular program or this particular application that you have that would set itself apart from the normal Microsoft?
Right. Well, like I said, I really think it's our offline content because let's say I take Microsoft out to Mtito Ande or to somewhere near Oyugis where connectivity is just not that great. Maybe I can't afford a Microsoft license, right, which is really, really expensive in most situations. Then I'm left with this box. Maybe I can play, I don't know, solitaire on it. Maybe I can play a few games of Minesweeper. With this, I lose that connectivity. I can still do everything I need to do. And that's really the differentiating aspect of our operating system. And also to just have a full team, a full company who is designing with your needs in mind. Microsoft is not designing with these people in mind. They're designing for high-powered users. They're designing for tech-savvy people. We are trying to create the best user experience for a very specific customer.
So definitely a specific user need that you're taking a look at when you're developing this particular application.
Yeah.
All right, and what are your prospects in the next few years in the Kenyan market and probably even abroad outside the region?
Well, we've actually not started in Africa. We've deployed over 1 million of these units in Latin America and Asia mostly. And suddenly we know we've just turned our attention to Africa and realized this is such an exciting space to play in and why haven't we gotten here before? So we're definitely starting in Kenya with partners with solar solution providers such as Rockwell. But we really want to be all over the continent. We want to make this the operating system of choice for not just Kenya, but all of Africa. I'm already talking to partners in Tanzania and Uganda and South Africa. This is not going to be, kind of a short-term throw down a project here and run away for us. We're here to invest in the continent for the long term.
All right. Thank you very much, Ruby there. Of course, she's the business development lead for Endless Solution. Of course, I'm also joined by Tony Mutuku. Sorry, Tony Mutuku is the Chief Executive Director for Rockwell Green Energy East Africa Limited. And of course, Caroline Kinuthi, the Digital Marketing at Endless Solution.